For hundreds of years of its early history, there was no aqueduct, nor is there any need. Rome has plenty of springs, Rome had plenty of cisterns, and of course you have the Tiber River providing water. But with an increased population, with increased wealth, the first aqueduct is constructed by 312 BC. The politician Appius, who saw to the building of the project, is honored by having his name appended to the aqueduct. So it is the Aqua Appia. With the conquest of the Italian peninsula, and spoils of war being brought to Rome from southern Italy, you have the construction of Rome's second aqueduct, the Aqua Anio Vetus. It's the older of the two branches from the Anio River. The third aqueduct built in Rome is built after the conquest of Carthage. This complicated, costly enterprise is undertaken, and it is in fact the most expensive building project that Rome had ever built to date. As opposed to the first two aqueducts of Rome, the AquaMarcia has a source from a greater distance, a richer quality of water, and also many more of the arcades are visible for a greater distance. If the AquaMarcia is associated with the conquest of Carthage, it's the Aquatepola that is associated with the conquest of Greece, so built by 126 BC. These four aqueducts represent the enterprises of the Republican state. Thereafter, all the aqueducts are built in the Imperial period, and it's under the reign of Augustus that you have three separate aqueduct lines that are built, in addition to refurbishing the previous aqueducts, increasing the supply of water in each of those channels as well. Augustus wants to bring a lot of water into a new area that he's developing, and this is the Campus Martius. And in fact, the first imperial baths built on a large scale for the public, are built in the Campus Martius by Augustus's right-hand man, Agrippa. And that is where you have the final destination point of the Aqua Virgo. Augustus builds three aqueducts, the Aqua Virgo, the Aqua Julia, and ultimately the Aqua Alsientina. The Alsientina is built to fill in the NAUMACHIA, or the ship battle pond, in Trastevere area. Its water source comes from a lake by Lago Bracciano. Caligula starts two new aqueduct branches. They are completed by the Emperor Claudius in AD 52. And the impressive arcades of the Aqua Claudia are visible today in the Park of the Aqueducts just outside of Rome. Although the Anio Novus piggybacks on top of the Aqua Claudia, these are two distinct aqueducts because they come from two different sources. In the early 2nd century, Trajan has a new line built, the Aqua Traiana, and it's for his baths on the Esquiline Hill, sitting on top of the remains of the Domus Aurea. In the beginning of the 3rd century AD, the Emperor Caracalla has a new line built. The Aqua Antoniana was constructed to feed into the baths of Caracalla. We have great sources for understanding the history of the aqueducts, not just the archaeological evidence, which is right in your face as you walk through the city of Rome, but also treatises. And the main author that we have at the end of the 1st century AD is Frontinus. And he gives us a lot of statistics, and he talks about the maintenance of the aqueducts, and the real system that he refers to is first imposed and created by Agrippa, the right-hand man of Augustus. Famously, in the early 6th century Gothic wars, many of the aqueduct lines are cut. In fact, by the end of the Middle Ages, there's only one ancient aqueduct that remains in use and is still in use today, and that is the Aqua Virgo, which leads into the Campus Martius, and it feeds many of the fountains that you see as you go through the Campus Martius today, including the Trevi Fountain. Some of the ancient aqueducts are refurbished in the Renaissance times. Notably, the Aqua Traiana is refurbished and used by Paul V, and you can see his magnificent fountain where the water comes through on the Janiculum Hill. So impressive. And this fountain is actually built with reused marble from the Temple of Minerva, originally in the form Transitorium. The AquaMarcia, so famous for its quality of water, is reused and known as the Aqua Felice, constructed by Sixtus V. And you can see his water coming into the city still today in the Moses Fountain on the Quirinal Hill.